Uh, First off, thank you for inviting me today. Um, this is the fourth time I have chaired one of the fuel cell tracks. Twice in Houston, I did last year in Europe, and again this year. And it's one of the premier hydrogen conferences globally. And from my perspective, it's an honor to be associated with such a prestigious conference. Additionally, because of your position in the marketplace and conferences, you're attracting thought leaders from around the world. And from my perspective, it's really a pleasure to be associated and getting to know some of these thought leaders in the hydrogen fuel cell industry. So it's really, I'm honored to be a part of this. And I learn every time I do one of these, I meet a lot of new people and I learn a ton about fuel cells, hydrogen, what's happening in the market, the latest technology, best practices. So it's a lot of value add for the attendees, for the speakers, and for the chairs. Well, again, there's a number of different speakers really talking about the latest design concepts, and it's really one of the key issues for fuel cells and the hydrogen industry is around scalability, around getting costs in line with customers' expectations and the market expectations. So a lot of what people are going to be speaking about is the latest design philosophies, best practices, scalability, and operating these systems. And that's really key information, sharing some of the best practices that people are looking at. And so that information is going to be extremely valuable for people who are attending the session to learn what from some of the best thought leaders and experts in the industry, what they're doing and how they can then take that information back to their organization to really move their programs forward. Another thing that I see that's really key, and I'm looking forward to, as a person working in an organization that's working in the fuel cell industry, we spend so much of our time in our little bubbles trying to figure out, the best technology, how we can help our customers move forward. But getting out and meeting with the rest of the marketplace is invaluable to learn, again, making those connections, learning what other people are doing, and picking up valuable information and key contacts. Well, again, it's multiple areas that I'm really looking forward to. One, again, is learning from, I don't want to say my peers, because in a lot of cases, I think their knowledge is well above my knowledge and where I'm coming from, but learning about what other leaders in the industry are thinking about, what challenges they're facing and how they're overcoming those challenges is going to be really valuable. Getting out into the expo and seeing some of the latest technology, some of what the next generation of progress in the hydrogen economy is also going to be interested. We have a booth there as well, so being able to meet some of our customers and show them our latest thoughts and products to help the industry, why we are heavily invested as an organization in this conference and the overall hydrogen economy. The opportunities are immense. And again, when you look at where we're at, we're really at the beginning of a journey that's going to last well beyond my generation's lifetime. But again, you can't pick up a newspaper, an internet article without reading about climate change and the challenges that we're facing globally with the climate. Hydrogen is going to play a key part in decarbonizing the environment. So we're at the forefront of helping the greater civilization improve our climate. So that's a tremendous opportunity that everyone who's in the hydrogen industry, I think, sees and recognizes on a daily basis. The challenges are really around the scaling, the infrastructure to allow for instance, fuel cells to be accepted globally and particularly in transportations. Without that infrastructure, I liken it to having EV cars without charging stations. Without having the hydrogen refueling stations and the green hydrogen as part of the infrastructure, it's going to be hard to move fuel cells forward. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Tremendous opportunities. We're going to see at the latter half of this decade, tremendous growth opportunities. But the industry is challenged with getting all that infrastructure in place, being able to scale at a level to meet the demands later on this decade are also going to be a challenge. Because it's very capital intensive to manufacture and build these systems. So there's going to be a lot of investment needed, a lot of patience with the investment community to allow us to get prepared for that growth that happens later this decade and into the early 30s. I've attended your Houston show 3 times. And we've exhibited, this will be the 3rd time we've exhibited at your European show. And shows 2 years ago were well attended, but they were nice medium shows. In both cases now, they're massive. And in a few years, particularly Europe has grown from a few hundred to getting close to 1,000 multiple halls. It's really become a marquee event, and which just shows, I think, the interest and the pent-up demand that's coming in a few years, and people are trying to get the knowledge and prepare for those, call it a hockey stick growth that's coming. And people are kind of putting their time and money where to prove that they're spending the time, they're coming to the shows, they're exhibiting at the shows, they're attending the conferences to soak up that knowledge and understand how they can participate in what's going to be a great market. And we see, the European show, from my perspective, and based in the U.S., is, I think, much more global and far-reaching than. And I'm not criticizing the U.S. show because it's a great event as well. But in Europe, we see geographically is positioned to have some of the Asian participation as well as North America. So you get a much more global perspective on what's happening in the marketplace, people's reaction, their interest. And Europe, to be honest, has led in the hydrogen industry. They're in the forefront, both from a environmental perspective and a little bit. I don't want to get into geopolitical issues, but Europe has some challenges from an energy perspective, and hydrogen can be part of the solution, both midterm and long term. it's to get us to where we need to be mid and long term. It's going to take a lot of partnership between governments, industry, to really make this a reality. We're Europe again has been the governments have been very committed to it. We're seeing better U.S. Government involvement in hydrogen, but without both organizations working together, um, it will take much longer to get where we need to be. So having government involvement is critical, and also kind of sometimes putting down our competitive swords and collaborating across industries, across competitors, um, to make this industry reality as well. Because I'll be honest, as this industry starts to grow, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for everyone at the table.